New Orleans, 1918. A city bustling with life, where the streets echoed with the sounds of jazz and the vibrant energy of its people. A city alive with music, culture, and the anxieties of a world at war. The air was thick with the tension of global conflict. Yet, the spirit of New Orleans remained unbroken. But a new terror stalked the night. As the fog rolled in, so did the fear, creeping into the hearts of the city's residents. A shadow, wielding an axe. A figure that moved silently through the darkness, leaving a trail of horror in its wake. This is the story of the Axeman of New Orleans, a serial killer whose brutality shocked the city and whose identity remains a mystery to this day. His attacks were sudden, his presence a nightmare. Join us as we delve into the dark heart of this unsolved case, exploring the crimes, the victims, and the enduring mystery that continues to fascinate and frighten. We will uncover the details that have puzzled investigators for over a century. The Axeman's reign of terror was short, lasting just over a year. Yet, in that brief period, he managed to instill a fear that would last generations. But in that time, he left an indelible mark on the city's psyche. The fear he spread was palpable, affecting everyone from the youngest child to the oldest resident. He became a boogeyman, a whispered warning in the dark. Parents would caution their children, and the legend of the Axeman grew with each retelling. His crimes were brutal, his motives unclear. Each attack left the community more bewildered and terrified. Some whispered he was a demon, others a madman. Theories abounded, but none could explain the sheer savagery of his acts. But who was the Axeman of New Orleans? Was he a lone killer or part of something more sinister? And what drove him to commit such horrific acts? Join us as we seek to uncover the truth behind one of New Orleans' darkest chapters. The year is 1918. The world is in turmoil, and the United States is not immune to the chaos. The Great War rages across the ocean, casting a long shadow over the United States. The echoes of battle are felt even in the most distant corners of the country. New Orleans, a city known for its vibrancy and joie de vivre, finds itself on edge. The lively streets and bustling markets now carry an air of unease. The draft has depleted its young men, and the fear of German sabotage hangs heavy in the air. Families are torn apart, and the community feels the strain. It is against this backdrop of uncertainty and anxiety that a new terror emerges. The city, already on edge, is about to face an unimaginable horror. The first attack comes in May, a month that would forever be etched in the city's memory. A brutal assault on a grocer and his wife sends shockwaves through the community. The peaceful facade of daily life is shattered, the weapon of choice, an axe wielded with terrifying force. The city is shocked. The brutality of the attack leaves everyone in a state of disbelief. Such violence is almost unheard of in the city's Italian-American community. A sense of vulnerability spreads among the residents. Whispers of a madman on the loose begin to circulate. Fear and suspicion grow as neighbors eye each other with distrust. Little do they know, this is just the beginning. The city is about to be gripped by a series of events that will test its very soul. As the summer of 1918 wears on, the attacks continue. Each one is as brutal as the last, each one seemingly random. The victims are mostly Italian-American grocers, their homes invaded in the dead of night. The Axeman, as he comes to be known, shows no mercy. He hacks his victims to death with a chilling ferocity. The city is gripped by terror. People are afraid to sleep in their own homes. The police are baffled. They have no leads, no suspects, no motive. The Axeman seems to vanish into thin air after each attack. Fear and paranoia grip New Orleans. The once vibrant city becomes a place of whispers and shadows. Then, in March of 1919, something even more chilling occurs. The Axeman writes a letter, not to the police, but to the newspapers. The letter, penned in crude handwriting, sends a wave of terror through the city. It is a chilling message, a bizarre mix of boasts, threats, and a strange request. The Axeman claims to be a demon from the hottest hell. He threatens to return on March 19th to take another life. But he offers a strange caveat. He loves jazz music, he writes. On the night of his return, he promises to spare any home where a jazz band is playing. New Orleans, the birthplace of jazz, is both horrified and perplexed. Section 5, Jazz for Survival, A City's Desperate Plea, March 19, 1919. The city of New Orleans finds itself gripped by fear and uncertainty. The city holds its breath, waiting for the night to unfold. No one knows what to expect. The tension is palpable, as if the very air is thick with dread. Will the Axeman stay true to his word? The promise of safety in exchange for jazz music seems almost surreal. Or is this just another cruel joke? The people of New Orleans can only hope and pray. As night falls, a strange thing happens. The city, usually bustling with activity, falls eerily silent. Jazz music fills the air. From homes, from dance halls, from the streets themselves, the melodies weave a protective spell. The sounds of jazz echo through the night, creating a symphony of hope and defiance. The city's desperate plea seems to work. The music, a lifeline in the darkness, brings a sense of unity. The night of March 19th passes without incident. The city, for once, breathes a sigh of relief. The Axeman, it seems, has kept his word. The threat that loomed so large has dissipated, if only for a moment. Was it the jazz music that stayed his hand? The question lingers in the minds of the city's residents. Or was it all just a coincidence? The mystery remains unsolved, adding to the legend of the Axeman. Whatever the reason, the city breathes a collective sigh of relief. For now, the nightmare is over, and life can return to a semblance of normalcy. Section 6, The Investigation, Chasing Shadows in the Crescent City. The police investigation into the Axeman murders was a frustrating and ultimately fruitless affair. Forensic science was in its infancy, and the police were ill-equipped to deal with a killer who seemed to vanish into thin air. They followed every lead, investigated every rumor, but the Axeman remained one step ahead. Theories abounded. Some speculated that the Axeman was a member of the mafia, targeting Italian grocers as part of a turf war. Others whispered of voodoo rituals and dark magic, but the truth, whatever it may be, remained elusive. The Axeman had disappeared as quickly as he had come, leaving behind a trail of blood and terror. The search for the Axeman's identity became an obsession for many. Citizens locked their doors and windows at night, fearing the return of the Phantom Killer. Newspapers were filled with sensational stories and wild speculation, but none brought the police any closer to capturing the Axeman. The city was gripped by a palpable sense of fear and uncertainty. Everyone was looking over their shoulder, searching for a face in the darkness that might never be found. Years passed, but the memory of the Axeman's reign of terror lingered. Families who had lost loved ones struggled to move on, haunted by the brutal nature of the crimes. The Axeman became a ghost story, a cautionary tale told to children to keep them safe at night. But for those who lived through it, the fear was all too real. The city of New Orleans would never forget the terror that once walked its streets. To this day, the true identity of the Axeman remains a mystery. The case has become one of the most infamous unsolved crimes in American history. Despite numerous theories and countless investigations, the Axeman's ghost continues to haunt the annals of true crime. The story of the Axeman serves as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the heart of a city and the human mind's unending quest to understand the unknown.